why Top Chef? Why? Because I feel like I think I've met you through the idea of Top Chef with my sister and you, right?
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know the show.
You didn't even know the show.
I had no idea.
Who told you?
My husband was watching the show. It was after a long season. I was catering, and he was watching the show. I remember laying on the couch, and it was your season. So season 4 was coming up, but they play all the seasons prior to. So I binged 1 through 3, and then I was watching season 4, and this is cool. I thought it'd be cool to do, not really thinking I would ever do anything like that. And then a friend was like, you should do it. But she was also a jokester, so she would punk you. So when I got a call about Top Chef, I'm like, I'm not falling for this. You have not punked me, and I didn't answer the phone, and they were like, this is so-and-so calling from Magical Elves. And I'm like,
Magical Elves.
Yeah.
Those little elves.
The little elves. And so, because they badgered the name of Les Dames d'Escoffier, so I'm a member of Les Dames d'Escoffier, which is an organization of women in hospitality and food, and the president, Catherine Newell Smith, told them about me, as well as Riss Lacoste.
Oh, yeah. Big shout out to Riss.
I love her.
She's the best.
So I didn't understand because they butchered the name. And so I was like, sure, I'll do it. I'll apply. And then I went to New York. I think I was at CIA to apply because I couldn't do it in the city based on my schedule and everything. And I get there and, I go through the whole thing, and then I do my video.
What did you do for your video? Do you remember?
Oh,
of
what?
course.
It was so cool.
Everyone remembers their submission video. What was it?
So I did a whole day in the life of.
Okay.
So I get up, and it's pitch black, and I say, good morning. And I said, oh, come around and just spend the day with me. And the next shot, I was down by the Capitol running. And then I was running, and then I went to the next shot. I was in my catering kitchen, and I was making some stuff. I was like, come on, do a round. And then the next shot, I was at home playing Yahtzee, and then I rolled a Yahtzee. I was like, oh, my God!
It got you the show right there, that roll.
And so that was my video. I really wanted to show who I was. Again, it's about the authenticity.
Yeah.
And, even when I got married, my name was Scrabble Girl. And I was like, really dweeby and weirdy. And
you got a good Scrabble game.
I think so.
Yeah. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to bust out the Scrabble board next time.
But yeah, so that it was all of that. And then, so I get there and I leave after the interview, and it was my first cell phone. It's dying. I'm at the train station, and I looked down and said, oh, I have a message. But it was 20 minutes before I had to get back on the train to go to D.C. And I listened to the message and like, hey, Carla, will you come back to have another interview? I was 20 minutes from getting on the train.
Back on the train, yeah.
So everything big that's happened in my life is almost like the universe is like, I'm telling you, this is where you should go.
Right, yeah.
So,
You got to follow those idiosyncrasies in life.
Yeah.
I live and die by them. It's just like, you always have a thought of where you want to go, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's these things that are going to come along the way that are just going to kind of guide you or push you one way or the other. It's so funny, hearing you about your submission video.
What did you do?
Well, I had 2, unfortunately, because so I submitted for season 3.
Oh, okay.
And what did I do? I was working for Drew Nipperant in my Vietnamese restaurant in New York City, which was right next to Chinatown. So I had Mike Coletti, which I think he's a good friend of mine. He's been with my restaurants for years. Just film me a day of the life of Spike at the restaurant, and I had him set up a bunch of recipes around the restaurant. We bought a live eel and some watermelons and a samurai sword. And so it started off with me wrestling an eel downstairs.
Oh my God!
In the kitchen, and eventually fabricating the eel on camera. I know Peter would probably come after me now, but and then watermelons would just come flying out of nowhere, and I would samurai sword. I was just doing crazy stuff just for attention, and I got called for the interviews to LA, and I went through the entire process, only for them to kind of write back, hey, we're passing on you this season, at which point I wrote an email to Andy Cohen saying your show is going to go up in flames. You suck.
Oh my God.
You've made the biggest mistake of your life, because obviously I was the asshole back then. And I didn't get a response back from him until probably 7 months later to that email that I had sent.
Mm-hmm.
I got a response, hey, by the way, Spike, we loved your submission videos. Would you mind going through the entire process again for season 4? And so again, I did another submission video and I went through the process and eventually got casted. So,
well, it's interesting. So when I did it the second time, All Stars, I really didn't want to do it. And I spoke to you, and you said, make it work for you. And I never thought about it that way. I never thought about the show being a business decision.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of people do it. I was like, I just like games. So that's that's why I did it.
I have good advice every once in a while, Jason. Come on. You know.
I don't know about the samurai sword.
No, sorry,
the samurai sword was a little wild.
A little wild.
But, you know, I kept saying no. And then the only reason I did All Stars was because I didn't want to cater anymore. And I wanted to go on and say, I don't cater.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
I don't cater. I'm making cookies. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to cater.
Yeah.
That was it.
You wanted to, like in a way, just reintroduce yourself.
Yeah. Like Madonna.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what was important about doing these shows. So like the first show was all about, I don't know what the fuck was happening. You know, it's like what, you know, cameras while you're cooking, you know, OTFs, you know, all.
Oh, that was like therapy for me. I was like, what, child? Let me tell you what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, you were so good on the interviews, though. I think that's why America fell in love with you. You were a fan favorite of your.
Yeah, I was fan
seat.
favorite.
You know, I think like you just did such good, entertaining interviews, and your outlook on the situation at hand, whether it was the challenge or this personality that was, you know, maybe you're butting heads with, or something that happened. It was just, you know, you really narrated the show really well for people. And I think that's why they loved having you there. So,
yeah. Well, let me see. Season 5, it was Fabio was fan favorite.
Yes.
I got fan favorite on All Stars.
All Stars. Mm-hmm. So I mean, of all the best chefs, you got fan favorite on All Stars. Is what happened.
All Stars was amazing.
I got kicked off early. Yeah.